a small town like this.
Sounds like someone escaped Detroit Become Human. Welcome back to Nancy Drew Midnight in Salem. I'm gonna get away from the chanting so I can talk and not have like in a competition to talk louder than me. Last time we realized my tablet's on the other side of the room so I can't easily see where we are. This time, no, we didn't really do that. Last time we came to town, met Olivia, and took a while figuring out that, oh, she's not gonna give us the prompt to take her tour, even though she's the one who promotes it. We have to go get it from Tegan. And we're gonna take the tour today, but first things first, we need to spend some more time talking about the game. So you remember the amazing cell phone that we had in the last game? You know, it's like a really cool looking Android phone. Well, newsflash, here's the phone today. It's still an Android phone. It's been simplified a lot though. As I'm sure you can tell if I do my editing magic and have both cell phones side by side for your viewing assistance, I don't know. Ease of viewing, yeah. So yep, I kind of went over what stuff is in here already. But today I'm going to talk about the stuff that's not here and the thing that's been changed for the worse. First off, there's no settings app, so you can't customize your phone. We're stuck with this standard Android background for the entire game. You can't change your ringtone, so it's always going to be that vibrating sound that you hear on the CW show whenever someone calls Nancy on there. You can't change the texting sound, which I really wish you could, because the one they have set is boring and bland as all get out. Is that it? In the settings app? I think it's in the settings app. They also got rid of games. Do you remember that app with you got the special edition of the game for pre-ordering? And it would have little mini games on the cell phone included from previous titles as, I don't know, something to do when you're bored. I never really played the games, but it was cool to have, and I sometimes would go in and see what there was to see in there. But that's no longer a thing. That's no longer a thing. See a darkness through the diary in here? That feature is also gone. And the phone charms, which would hang on your phone, I don't know, to look cool and whatnot, they're gone. They are all gone. So, let me just make sure I covered that. I did. And now the one thing that I'm really upset about. Let me just find a zoom in scene really quickly. A scene where you can zoom in on something for more detail, like this. Say you want to take a picture of this with your camera phone. It's not going to let you. It automatically bumps you out to this scene. So if you are zoomed in on a clue, you can no longer take a picture of said clue. Why, game? That was the most useful feature you ever added. And now it's gone. I found this out the hard way because I needed to take a picture of a clue, and it didn't let me. So I had to pull out a sticky note and write it myself. Disappointment all around. Well, enough about that. Let's continue with the game, and I think instead of taking the witch tour, we're gonna go in here and meet some more people. I honestly expected a conversation to pop up, but it didn't, so I'm not complaining. Let's go in here.
Yes, can I help you?
Hi, sorry to bother you, but we were looking for Judge Danforth's office.
Just across the hall. Why? What did you two girls do?
We didn't do.
I'm kidding. Alicia Cole, Esquire.
Nice to meet you. I'm Nancy Drew, and this is Deirdre Shannon. You're a lawyer.
Salem's best. The only practicing lawyer in the historic town limits, if you could believe it. And if you girls were in any trouble, I'd have no problem representing you. You both have that innocent look. Juries love it.
So you're saying we could get away with a crime?
We?
No? Partners in crime?
Sorry to bother you, Miss Cole. We'll check in with the judge. Have a good evening.
Apparently it's evening. Does it look evening outside? Hard to tell if the protester's in the way, and that protester just isn't a weird loop jerking animation. What? Okay, let's keep going, ignoring them.
You'd really become my enemy if I committed a crime?
Sorry. You shouldn't joke about that.
Why? You gonna arrest me?
No, but I'd call the police to report you. I'd also recommend you a decent lawyer, because I'm an excellent witness for the prosecution.
Wow.
I'm a lawyer's daughter, Deirdre. Don't mess with me. Hello? Judge Danforth.
Yeah, hello. Ted, is that you?
Ted?
No, Your Honor. My name is Nancy Drew. I think you've spoken with my father.
Nancy Drew? Carson's daughter?
Yes, and I'm with my friend Deirdre Shannon. We're investigating the arson of the Hathorn house.
Ah, yes, yes.
Can we come in?
Well, you see, no, I mean, I'd let you in, but I seem to have been locked in my office and I need some help getting out.
Okay.
I'll come back later.
Actually, not the
Hello?
one I wanted to say. I wanted to say this one.
Do you know where I could find a key to your office?
Yes, I believe I gave a copy of the key to Alicia Cole as backup. She's just down the hall. I hope she's still here.
She is. We just talked to her. Let's go talk to her again.
Yes, can I help you?
He said you might have a key.
Sorry, I gave him my spare. Unbelievable. Does this ever end?
Oh, well then. Do you have a paperclip?
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, what business do you two have with the judge?
We're helping the judge with a case.
Anything I can assist you with?
Thanks, but I think we got it. No need for a lawyer. At least, not yet.
And even if we did, I'd probably get Carson over you, honestly. Alright, so now we can pick
Judge
the lock.
Danforth? I couldn't find your key.
What? Alicia said she'd keep a copy for me.
Well, I did find a paperclip. I think I can pick your lock, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure, fine.
This shouldn't be too much of a challenge.
And it's not. This puzzle's very easy. Once I find this, yeah. Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to feel the tumblers and like push down to see which one gives you the most resistance, and that's the order you want to push them in. Because if they go really easily, that's the wrong one, but if they take a hard time to push in like this one, that's right, you wait for it to make the clicking sound, and then you go on to the next one. What are you whining about? That's the next one in order, right? Ooh. Hang on. Ah, whoops, wrong way. Hang on. They changed the songs? Whoa, okay. Oh, I put two numbers in the wrong order. That's what I did. I mixed up the 3 and the 5 in my notes. But this is the right order.
Ha! Still got it.
Efficient. How'd you learn to do that, actually?
Online video tutorial.
Someday you have to tell me about your secret life of breaking and entering, Drew. Because you're in danger of being cool. Which, honestly, I just don't like.
Someday.
Alright, well, let's go in. Hello, Judge.
Ah, those protesters are out there again, stirring the pot. You know, this town used to be a quiet place. It seems lately there's been an element that has infiltrated our community. I have no doubt one of those troublemakers locked my door and threw away the key. Now, Nancy, your father and I have discussed.
Oh, sorry. I'm not Nancy.
Of course you're not. You look nothing like Carson. Did your father ever tell you about the time we won 4th place at the Lake Winnipesaukee Regatta? You see, at the time I had 20/10 vision, so I was the navigator and...
Judge, this is Deirdre Shannon. She's working with me on the case.
Deirdre, you're the one who tried to break down my door.
Breakdown?
Your Honor, that's an exaggeration. I was knocking. Heavily.
Look, I'm really busy. dealing with this Hathorn House business. Being a judge is not as simple as, investigating during your free time.
Well, we just used our free time to unlock your door. So I'm sure you'll be willing to repay us with some answers to our questions. Right?
Yes, of course. What can I help you girls with?
Well, I didn't want to talk about anything, but since we have to,
I was told that the burning of Hathorn House is suspected to be a case of arson. How did the police come to that conclusion?
The investigation found paint solvent residue on burnt embers, suggesting someone deliberately used an accelerant. Thankfully, Mrs. Tuttle never had to see what became of her home.
And what evidence do you have that May Perry is the one responsible for this?
Evidence? Have you ever heard of recidivism? 3 out of 4 criminals in the United States are repeat offenders. And there's only one person in all of Salem who has a history of fire-related crime.
So, there is no evidence.
Not yet, but there will be.
You don't need evidence. She's already been convicted in the court of public opinion.
Is that what she said?
No, I'm saying it.
She has a history with this sort of thing.
What's May's motive? What does she gain by burning down the Hathorn House?
You'd have to ask her. And while you're at it, you can ask about her alibi, which she refused to give to the police. So, any other questions?
another question, but something I remembered I wanted to talk about at the beginning of this episode, but did not. And now I'm wondering if I should say this for a time when we're not in the middle of a conversation. In fact, I will.
Can you explain to us how you're involved with the Hathorn House?
Well, yes. The house was built by Judge John Hathorn during the 1600s, and it represented the oldest surviving structure from that era. Judge Hathorn, of course, was one of the 3 judges that presided over the Salem witch trials.
Yes, and I'm sure we can read all about the home's history in Salem's museum.
More recently, Frances Tuttle, Judge Hathorn's last direct descendant, lived in a small section of the house while the rest was left to fall into considerable disrepair. She was alone, except for a part-time caregiver, Lauren Holt, who had a bedroom in the carriage house. A few months ago, Frances Tuttle passed away, which left Hathorn House without a legal heir. According to the historical statutes of Salem, after 90 days, the house reverts to public property, the deadline of which is 2 days from now, at midnight.
Okay.
So, how did Frances Tuttle pass away exactly?
The woman was 88 years old. The coroner confirmed her death was of natural causes.
So they never investigated Lauren Holt.
You need the suspicion of foul play to investigate someone, young lady.
We'd like to speak with her all the same.
She still lives on the estate, although for how much longer we do not know. You can also find her in her shop, Luminous Infusions. She might be willing to talk to you.
So the Book of Apologies. Why did you really need it?
Yes, and first of all, I'm so glad you're all right. Nasty business. Had I known you were going to be put in harm's way, I would have never called Carson and asked for his help.
I've done plenty of work for my father. Trust me. I can handle myself.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
So I've already heard some stories, but would you mind giving me your version of why the book is important?
Yes, so... Judge Sewell was rumored to keep a ledger of all the accused, intending to publish it to reconcile with their families and clear their names. But he passed away before he could do so.
Going to Austria for a rumored book seems like a heck of a long shot.
Well, I have been under some pressure from the AW group. AW as in accused witches.
Don't you think it's dangerous throwing around May's name as a suspect before any evidence links her to the crime?
What do you mean? What are you saying?
From what you've described, there is no evidence against May. Yet you were saying that she did it. As a judge, I think you would be the first to admit that sounds prejudicial.
It is not just me, Miss Drew. There are plenty of people who believe that May is responsible for this crime. It is not prejudice when she is the only likely suspect.
Actually, that is the definition of prejudice.
I'm not going to have this debate with you. Is there anything else?
As I rub my hand all over my face like I have shampoo on it.
Talk to you later.
Miss Drew, before you go, there is something else I need your help with.
You're not locked out of your car, are you?
Oh, no. There was an incident here recently. Someone broke into the evidence room.
Oh. Have you called the police?
Well, no, not yet. I don't think anything was taken. Never mind. I'll call the police. Thank you for your time.
Alright. Now that we've done that, let's go begin the tour of Salemness. I swear if you soft lock. Good. That spot soft locked on me before, and I don't care. Well, I do care about soft locking, but I don't care about whatever they had to say. Hey, Deirdre. Let's talk to Olivia. Actually, probably just give it to her.
This tour sounds interesting.
Welcome on my tour.
Thank you.
Alright, so she's gonna give us a tablet and say, look for these little thingies, and then scan them with a tablet. The Raven icon is next to the thingies. And I don't know why I turned that way when this game has weird controls. Well, there's the sinkholes of sinkiness. How do I go? There we go. Forward, because the first one is right here.
Oh there, watch your step. In recent years, these maws into the deep unknown have opened. There was once a vast network of tunnels beneath Salem, used by smugglers during the Prohibition era. Most would have you believe that these tunnels are now collapsing. But you have to wonder if there could be something more sinister behind these sudden maws into the underworld.
That's one. And I believe there might be one more out here. Are you one? No, you're the head of probably another robot girl. Justice!
When do we want it?
Now! Justice. Okay, there's not one out here. So, we're going to go ahead and head to the cemetery. And in the cemetery, we have a lot. I don't know why all of Salem's history is in this one cemetery, but it is. And now we have to learn about it. First of which is... Nope, not there. Let's see here. Nope, not him, but these unmarked graves right here. You can see how the navigation is tricky with their effort to retain the point and clickiness in the 3D environment, and it didn't really work.
These headstones bear names lost to history, but some believe they belong to those sentenced for witchcraft. A condemned witch was forbidden from being buried on consecrated ground, but many victims were buried by loved ones in secrecy, and some may have found their eternal rest beneath these unmarked graves.
Next up, we have the path to the Hawthorne house right here.
Through these woods lies the infamous Hawthorne estate. It was common during the Salem witch trials that the lands of the accused were taken and resold for cheap. The judge himself bought many such lands, and on them built his grand estate. The Hawthorne house has since come to represent all the wrongs that were inflicted during the trial.
Up next is, when I find it, we'll go ahead and go to the next one I know of, because there's one that's lurking around here. I need to remember where it is. And where's the sign? You're next, but I can't see the little crow sign I'm supposed to scan. Deirdre might be over it, honestly. Aha, found it. There it is. There it's B. Turn. Down. Aha! I guess I didn't look down enough.
Before you stands Abigail Hawthorne, helping the accused witches escape the grasp of her own brother, Judge Hathorne himself. Abigail freed many from their holding cells until the judge caught her in the act and locked her up in a cell deep within the Hathorne house. The statue was given the name Little Liberty in honor of her valiant efforts to free the innocent.
And let's see here. Now we need the judge's grave. Oh, and some of these are actually in the museum too, so there's one more out here in the graveyard and then 2 in the museum. In fact, here we are.
Stand before the remains of Salem's most zealous and conniving judge. So lacking in morals was Judge Hathorne that he sentenced innocents to death while claiming the estates of the dead as his own. Unlike the more remorseful Judge Sewell, Hathorne never felt any guilt for his part in the Salem witch trials.
Alright. Now that should be it for the graveyard. Let's go into the museum and get the last 2 ones. At least I hope there's 2 in here. If not, I have to go wander around the graveyard and find the last one. Because now we are at the Puritan statue. There we go.
The Salem Museum, known formerly as the Town Hall, not only a great resource for the Salem witch trials, it also holds records of other interesting facets of our local history. Anyone visiting Salem does well to seek out the forbidden knowledge hidden in these halls.
Cool. And the last one is here.
It was a time of horror, when the witches who walked the earth were wrongfully prosecuted and thus stripped of everything. These are the ghosts you'll find here in Salem. Their homes taken, their knowledge destroyed, their lives erased.
Okay, I'm officially exhausted. Let's head back to the Perry house, okay?
Okay, and actually, Kay...
Be careful.
No. We are not learning more about Salem history than we need to. We're gonna, I want to say, end it there because the next segment is long and I don't want to have a 40-minute episode. Justice! I really should be. What do we want? A good game. What do we get? This. Oh, I'm being too negative. So next time on Nancy Drew Midnight Salem, we're going to return to the Perry house. See you guys then.